absolutely agree with that, with William Sewer, that this bill will make things worse, but if there's anything that can be done to ensure that people aren't on the welfare system, it's to get them into work, get them a fair-paying job, create good employment conditions so that they can keep their job. But the reality of the matter is that the government hasn't got a plan to create jobs, so there are no jobs. That's why unemployment's gone up. 68,000 young people currently unemployed. Māori unemployment's currently at 16%, gone up. And the reality of the situation, just as colleagues before me have pointed out, is that the government has done nothing to create employment so that the people that we're worried about, that we're concerned about, can actually be treated fairly in the workplace. That is not happening now. This bill will do nothing to give them a fair shot in the workplace. I'm concerned about the punitive aspects of the bill, because if 50% of their benefit can be cut if they don't turn up to a work test, you've got to ask yourself, are they being treated fairly? I went to the Citizens Advice Bureau in Papakura, and you know what they told me? Many of the beneficiaries actually can't ring into the 0800 number for work and income, because they've got cell phones. So they come into the Citizens Advice Bureau, they use that phone to ring the 0800 number. What we know about the people that we're representing, that we're talking about, that we're backing, is that many of them move homes. And when they move homes, they change addresses. And often when they change addresses, because it's temporary, they can't actually update the details because it's a temporary placement. So what happens if a letter gets sent out to their old address, they don't get it, and they didn't turn up for a work test? What happens to that person? Do they get 50% of their benefit cut off because they haven't received the information? Are they being treated fairly? I suspect not. Absolutely. What if they have only got $20 on their top-up card, and we're talking about a mother with young children, it's winter time, and they're saving the credit on their cell phone for emergency calls to the doctor? And so they're not able to make a call to work and income to say, well, we need to update our details and things like that. There are aspects of this that are punitive and that don't take account, I think, of some of the situations that many of those on the benefit, the real-life situations and challenges that they're facing every day, because they are struggling with paying rents. I'll give you an example. In Ngarawahia, people are paying up to $360 $360 in Ngarawahia for a rental of 3 bedrooms, and this is because there are not enough Housing New Zealand homes available.
Where's the Minister of Housing?
Well, the situation there is that many of the people that I represent have cell phones. You know, and so when you're talking about contacting beneficiaries, when you're talking about some of the challenges they face with paying rents or having to move homes because rentals are too much, you're actually talking about needing to be able to contact these people all the time, and often that is not the case, and that's certainly the feedback that we get from some of the work and income officers. These are some of the difficulties and challenges of working with these particular people. There are punitive aspects of this bill that I think should be reconsidered, and members have pointed to that particular situation before me. But I really wanted to highlight what's happening in the Waikato region with the DPB, the sickness benefit, the independent youth benefit. Because if you look at the July statistics from 08, 09, 010, what you will see is they have all gone up, and it concerns me. It concerns me that the work testing aspects of this bill affecting those on the DPB do not take into account that we have a very serious issue and challenge of those groups of beneficiaries who really do want to make a go of it. But what has the Minister done? Cut the training incentive allowance. Let foundation courses be funded, but not level 4 and above. The great reality that the Minister might want to be aware of, certainly in my patch where we've got the wānanga who are offering foundation courses for free, is they actually don't need the tertiary incentive allowance, but they would like it. They would like it if they wanted to pursue a degree-based course in early childhood and social work, in the social service area. But no, they can't get it. That is what real opportunity looks like for women on the DPB in the Waikato area. And this Minister hasn't recognised this. What is she going to do? Work test them. There aren't any jobs out there, but she's going to work test them. Well, fine. But, Minister, I would far rather, in your capacity as the Minister of Social Development, Tell us how those jobs are going to be created. Because look, Mr. Chair.
Honourable Nanaima Huta.
Let's look at the Community Max and Job Ops, because what happens with Community Max and Job Ops is that the 90-day provision doesn't apply. So if it's good enough for Community Max and Job Ops, the Minister says yes it does, and I'm reading her information for Job Ops. I'm reading her information on Job Ops, and it says here, Job Ops criteria, last paragraph. A job ops opportunity cannot be accepted if the employment agreement attached to the job contains the 90-day employment trial provision. Understand your policy. Well, if it's old, it's on your website. If it's old, updated, it's on your website. Fantastic. She doesn't know how current or not current her information is, but the reality is, with Community Max and Job Ops, is they are short-term solutions to a long-term challenge of ensuring that people are in real jobs and they get real wages, and that's not happening. There are Community Max initiatives that have placed young people for a 6-month period. Yeah, about 40% of them, certainly in my region, have seen to have good outcomes, but the great majority actually haven't been in employment. They haven't gone on to further training, and there actually isn't any jobs out there for them. So the Minister really needs to look at that, because it's a short-term fix to a long-term challenge that we have, and we know that we need to ensure that young people, especially, their first opportunity in the labour market has to be a positive one. And the 90-day bill is just one example where it has the potential to critically damage their employment prospects. If they go into a job, they're not given a reason why they're dismissed, if they're dismissed, and then what will that do to their confidence? You know, what will that do to their CV? What can they say on their CV? The Community Max initiative and the Job Ops scheme is a short-term solution to a long-term challenge. We need young people employed in real jobs with real wages, treated fairly in the workplace. They all go together, Minister. You can't separate out issues to do with industrial relations, the 90-day bill, from your particular schemes. You're setting them up to fail. You don't want to recognise that, Minister, but that is the situation that you, Minister, are putting these young people into. So you can wrap, Minister, these initiatives up in all the nice language that you want. But let me tell you this, that in the Waikato, when we look at the types of Community Max initiatives that are there, and I visited some of them and am yet to visit others, we have had initiatives that beautify marae, that help kohanga reo, but many of them actually haven't gone into job creation. And I'm sure that you're well aware of that. In fact, in rolling out the Community Max scheme in my particular electorate, what you've done is you've picked some winners and you've ensured that they've retained their funding because they are taking on a lot of young people, and it will make you look good. It will make your stats look good, and it's a cosmetic solution to the real challenges out there. So I am concerned about the bill and what it doesn't do. What it won't do is it won't ensure that people are treated fairly when they're on the benefit. And there are members before me that have spoken about that very well. In fact, it is discriminatory and it is punitive. It won't take account of the real life challenges that beneficiaries face. Back to the 90s. And it is a retrograde step. But more fundamentally, Minister, it doesn't partner the message that is coming from the government, well, the message that should be coming from the government, which is you have a plan to create growth, to grow jobs out there. That's not actually a message that's being heard, and you're trying to provide a cosmetic fix to that through your Community Max and Job Ops, and we can see through it. We can see right through it, and what's worse is that we can hear the constituents in our communities say, yeah, we want to work. We'll go out there and get a job, but the jobs just aren't there. Take Phil Goff. He just highlighted around about 2,500 odd people applying for 150 jobs for a New World position. So we know people want to work. We want to back them into work. But what we know is a solution has to be around social development and also economic development.
Point of order. Order. There's a point of order. Joe, got you.
I've hesitated, but it just has really struck me the number